no play is the best play. Right? And that shocks people, right? Simply not making a play is the best play.
Okay,
So
yeah.
look, I think that you actually have a lot of game knowledge. I'm watching you play. You have a lot of game knowledge, man. You have a lot of champ mastery. You know a lot of. I can tell you understand what wave states you want. I can see that you understand what sort of trading patterns you like. I can see a lot of great things here, and there's a lot of things that you do intuitively. So now what I want to see from you, because I need to see what you know. Okay, I need to see what you know. Now what I want from you is I want you to reflect on this, Lucian. I want you to read that article. I want you to really kind of embrace the loser's game mentality. After you read that article, make more sense. And then I want you to go, whenever you play a game, I want you to review it. And whenever you make some chaotic roam or play, I want you to ask yourself, was this necessary? Did I really understand the risk involved with this? Was there an alternative? Was I playing towards my strong side? Was I aware of my jungler's location? What would an alternative look like? And if you look at your deaths, I guarantee you a lot of them are going to be tied to you overforcing plays. But you didn't really need to make that play. So what would the alternative be? Well, maybe it's going for a reset. Maybe it's playing around an objective. Maybe it's waiting for your jungler to come back on the map. I don't know. That's for you to decide. And the other one that I want you to dwell on is the small wins. Small wins mentality, which ties into loser mentality a little bit, but small wins is basically an example of it might be, that top skirmish here. A small win is that you got the chunk onto the Mundo. And here, even now, you got the ult, beautiful. You get the flash. Small win, take it. It's all good. We don't need it. It's a play's a play at the end of the day. If you get the kill, if you think you can get the kill. But this is not the best example. But there's going to be scenarios where you get the chunk in your lane, but the wave's in an amazing position. Why rush? Why go for that crazy chaotic solo kill when we can just relax? The wave's in a beautiful spot. It's a lose-lose scenario for the Vlad. It'd be stuck on your side, then you can go for the all-in later. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes.
So overall, there's a lot of great stuff here. It's a bit of a unique session because I don't really feel like... I feel like there's a lot of great stuff here. I kind of just want to see... I want you to embrace this and think about this for the next, 1 or 2 weeks. And then I want you to come back. And then we'll kind of take it from there and see where, what you make of this. And then we can start to get a little bit more detailed, okay?
Okay. About champion mastery, like champion pool in general. Should I just drop Yasuo then? Because ideally I want to learn the game fundamentally. And well, I played Yasuo since like forever, but playing him is just like muscle memory. But like, I never think. He doesn't make me think as much as I need to. That's the problem with, I think, is my main issue.
Look. I don't want you to drop Yasuo. I think that you've got way too much champion mastery to throw it away. I think it's great to have in your pool. But I think it would be well worth your time to invest into another champion that will allow you to learn more of the fundamentals.
Yeah, I used to play Ahri a lot.
Yeah, like, Ahri would be great. Ahri would be great. If you want a more aggressive champion, Echo could be work. Because it seems like you like that aggressive style. Play an aggressive champion.
Yeah, I
Diana, Echo, whatever. Ahri's great.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
Yeah, so let me know what you decide, and we'll go from there, man.
Okay, thank you very much.
No
I
problem.
wrote it all down on a notepad too, so.
Brilliant.
I have this all saved. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Okay. Who else do we have today? Coltron was 1.5 weeks. Aria 3 days. Sen. 1 week fixing my post. So who else we have? Does anyone else here who has a bot? Just so we know that I missed out. So I know
think
Cultural
Basher
had.
said he was 2 weeks.
So Basher was 2 weeks.
How do you feel above your post?
Okay. So sorry, can everyone just who is still here can you just rewrite it because a lot of text I just want. I'm struggling to. It's all like separated everywhere. All right. We'll do Basher then.
Hello.
Hey Basher. Is this another Zerath VOD?
For once, it's a Victor VOD, actually.
Oh.
This game is probably the culmination of me listening to my friends, I would say. That I have a, like, most of my friends are, like, Plat and Diamond. One of them is almost Masters League at this point, and, obviously, I played, like, StarCraft for 2.5 years, and they've been playing League for 5 to 6 years, so, I listen to them for the most part whenever I can't get a media device here, and one of them is, like, has the, in my opinion, the privilege of playing, like, the opposite end of the spectrum. He plays, like, Echo and Yone, like, 2 tricks, so he plays super aggressive, and he tells me I'm not particularly aggressive on the map, and I should at least try to find more opportunities around the map, and I admittedly, like, I did listen to him. I think I did, but at the end of the day, like, all it resulted was me just aimlessly wandering on the map trying to find things to do, and it was usually just, like, terrible roams, and it didn't go particularly well for me. Even if I thought genuinely that it was going to end well, by the time I got to bot lane or something like that, it was just, there was no point in me going there.
Wait, so you're trying to roam on Victor?
I wasn't trying to roam, like, deliberately all the time, but I was saying, like, if I saw, like, a shoved weight, I'm like, hey, maybe I go down there and get something. But I did tell him, like, he told me I should try to find opportunities on even Victor and Xerath, and I told him, you know, Xerath and Victor are isolated champions. And he's like, even on those champs, you should try to find opportunities.
What elo is this guy?
He's plat, like mid-plat. If he's wrong, it may be because he's, you know, he plays Echo and Yone, and
yeah. No, I don't think that's the play personally.
Okay, well that solves a lot of my problems right there and then.
Yeah, I think look, when it comes to when it comes to learning, because basically, so you say you switched to Victor because you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. Is that
I don't play Victor because I want to be more aggressive. I think Victor's just a more blindable pick than Xerath, so if I don't know too much about the draft, I just pick Victor because it's much safer. I have a really good late game. My playstyle is similar enough to Xerath, where I poke, I get farm, and I hit late game and I 3-shot people for fun. And it's very much like, it's my kind of champion. I like the patient style that Victor is. I like being able to basically play a shooting gallery in the mid and late game.
Right. Yeah, and look, trust me, you not roaming has nothing to do with why you're not plat.
Okay, good. Next time I'll be sure to keep that in the back of the mind when I tell him that.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look here. So look, this is it's a little bit of a tricky matchup.
And he's also Bjergsen, so you know I'm kind of screwed.
Boosted Bjergsen on his Smurf here. But I'm close enough. Look, this is a very aggressive setup. Electrocute, Ignite, a lot of kill threat. And we are versing a Rammus. It can be a little bit annoying, but I think if we've got good quality vision, it should be okay. Nunu was also pretty hard countered by Nivea because of the wall, which is not the best.
Yeah, I remember this happening at least 2 to 3 times where the Nivea should have died to a Nunu, and then she just put that wall up.
Yeah. So out of interest, how many games of Victor do you have?
I'm like at 100k mastery points now. I'm knee deep into Victor at least, and
Really?
It's working out. Like, I think this game is probably one of the worst I've played, with a couple of exceptions where I went even worse than this. But these are few and far between, I think, because right now I'm in my plat promos, and you know I'm very, very close to platinum. And I think it's definitely partially due to the fact that some games on Victor I unironically 1v9 the entire game.
This is gold 1?
Yeah, gold 1, like 100 LP, like in promos.
Crap. So what was your rough hypothesis here?
My hypothesis was I wanted to start E, and because the problem was I wasn't thinking this entirely through. On the one hand, I want to shove a Nivea in because naturally she'll have to use her clear on the wave before me, at least pre-6. Post-6, she just clears the wave for free. And then, on the other hand, it's Rammus who gets extremely strong early ganks, and I couldn't quite make up my mind on it. So I wanted to keep it toward the middle because I figured I could get at least partially the best of both worlds, where Nivea might have to use some mana on the wave, but Rammus can't just walk up with the Q and taunt me and kill me.
Okay. Yeah, look. Yeah, so generally when you're playing Victor, Dareth, right, you have more success when you're probably not getting shoved in, but at the same time, I think that you're... The way I would play it is I would probably, yeah, like you hold it in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think at some point I failed to do that at some point. I forgot exactly when, but it was my intent, at least, for the majority of the laning phase. At least until level, like, the later stages laning phase, where I could just sweep a wave and it dies immediately.
This would have been a great opportunity to ward right here. See that?
Yes, I probably should have.
Because even from here, you are under kill threat if Rammus were to loop around.
Most likely, I'd probably die. Or at least have to burn flash.
Okay. Warding does seem to be a bit of a common trend. Warding as a problem with you.
It's historically been a huge problem. I think I obviously can't say based on this game it was particularly good. I think I'm getting better at it in most of my other games. I think this one was... I'm not sure what it was. Maybe I wasn't like all there mentally that day, but I did have some tilting games, and I don't think I usually get too tilted. I usually think I just get tilted in the moment when something happens, and 10 seconds later I'm fine. But it may have had a ramping effect after a while. I don't know.
Okay. So look, we've had the wave in a little bit of an awkward spot this entire lane. Like, it's been kind of slightly on Anivia's side, and because it's been on Anivia's side, whenever she walks aggressively, you're kind of panicking in a way because you don't know if Rammus is actually going to be there. And I kind of feel like the wave being here is making you play in a very conservative, weird manner. Where you're like, I mean, should I walk up? I can tell you look very nervous with your movements. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, oh shit, I got to run. Like, you don't know what's happening. So, look, I'm a bit... This wave state is very problematic, especially since you don't have a ward here. So for some nice ease. So what was the thought process with the W on the wave here?
I wanted to back, so I wanted to shove the wave in and then just recall for a tier road refill.
So can you outline to me how you believe you would get a base here?
If I'm not mistaken, a cannon wave is the next wave, and I wanted to shove it in as quickly as possible.
Okay, so you believe that you could get this wave in before the next wave came?
Maybe not, but I assume maybe she wouldn't be able to clear it in time, or at least if I had to burn TP, I'd be back with the tier, and then if he has Ignite, so I'd be in a pretty decent spot regardless, I figured.
Okay, so the next wave wasn't a cannon.
Yeah, I was just outright wrong, I guess.
And then a bit of a skirmish happens. Not too bad. Rammus getting spot, but Nunu might be able to get a double scuttle potentially here.
I think he dies, actually. Yeah, that was painful to watch.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Nunu did kind of give my mid laner a little bit of a charity case.
Okay, so we'll continue to play this out. I think we're going to revisit a few things in this early lane. Good dodging on the Q so far, though. Getting autoed down by the red buff. Adivia's pushing us in. We end up TPing back here. Nice. High value E. Can't really hold the wave. Okay. So what's going on through your mind now? So Nivea's basing right now. What are we thinking?
I think right now I once again want to shove it, and I think my actions are actually consistent with my thought process right now, at least. I want to shove it, and then I think I block out this. I mean, at least in this situation, Nivea's probably going to take a while. And instead okay, maybe I ward first.
Yep.
I don't remember. This game was quite a while ago.
Yep. It's okay. So we get some vision down. Beautiful. We deny Anivia a little bit of farm. End up getting a pink. Beautiful. It'd be good to have chuck a ward on that ledge. That would give us a nice little side to lean onto, especially since we don't have flash. But ideally, we let the wave come out to us because we don't have flash. We're reversing into Anivia and a Rammus. So this wave state is really not where we want it.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Keep moving and don't get shot.
Okay.
I think my thought process throughout all of this was I figure if I could shove it, it'll bounce back, and yet it never quite did. I could very well be wrong, but
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, because it would just come out to you. Like, I mean, right here. I mean, I'm pretty sure, and it would come out to you right now. If you just stop hitting it, it's bouncing out to you.
oh, it is? Okay.
So here, for example, so what's gonna happen is see, notice how the tower hit it, and then Anivia is hitting this wave. So as soon as that cannon dies, which is gonna die any second because Anivia is auto attacking it, you can have 2 versus 3 plus the wave is on this side.
Okay, that makes more
See that?
sense. Yeah.
And then because we kept eing it over and over again, it never was really able to come out. So it's like stuck in this very awkward position right now.
The only thing that matters out here.
Okay, this is the thing. So this is a very this is why I think this matchup is quite tricky. The way I view it is that you have to play it fast and aggressive. Or one of two things. There's only 2 ways to play it. You play it in an extremely non-committal E-poke fashion, where you're sitting max range and you're clipping the Victor and the Anivia with an E, and then you're chilling. And that poke adds up, and then once you get the Anivia low, you're going to be a little bit safer to walk up. Or play it very fast, and then if Anivia walks up and does this combo onto you, because notice how if we actually take a look here at the actual initial cast of this E, we can see that the laser, see how it's overshooting it?
Yeah.
That's ideally what we'd want to avoid if we're doing that first strategy. But if we're doing the second strategy, we do this, and then we walk forwards, and then we drop the ultimate onto the Anivia. Because the ultimate, it stops this ultimate, and then we just take really, a really spicy trade and then get lane control.
So you just say screw it and all in this
Yep.
situation.
But ideally, that's why ideally the wave is up here, so then you take this trade up here, and then Anivia does this, and then you walk forwards, you drop the ult, it will cancel this ult. You're going to obviously take the EQ to the face, which is giving you take a bit of damage, but then you're going to be able to continue to chase with the ultimate, get a good trade-off, and then continue to get a bit of E-poke, and then Anivia's going to be too low to really do anything.
Makes sense.
So, in a weird way, you're kind of using your offense as your defense. But these sorts of trades like this, where we walk up, we don't max range tether, this is not good.
They end up abysmal.
That's right. So it's a bit of a tricky matchup, especially when we don't have flash, because we can't really get out of that combo. But Anivia's shoving you in. Okay. Look for a bit of an all-in. Nice. Not bad, not bad.
That stun miss, I think I actually would have gotten there. At least into her passive.
Once we get our E upgrade, it's much, much easier.
Yeah, I can just shove the wave and walk away.
You can just match the wave clear, and then it's just like, Nivea doesn't really get any real advantage. So we end up getting the blue. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Nivea comes back a little bit of tempo. come back with our lost chapter. I'm assuming. So you didn't go.
They never stay
You didn't go magical footwear.
No,
Early boots is quite nice in this matchup to help you avoid the Q, but lost chapter is pretty tempting, so I don't mind that.
yeah, I can, especially considering my E costs like 100 mana, I can just effectively spam it to my heart's content right now.
The frontier's taken plenty of lives. I'm just here to even the odds.
Okay, so we walk in blind, and then we get knocked up, and then we get one shot. Okay. So going a little bit further here, and then we'll try and tie together a few areas that I think that we should hone in on.
Dust up.
Because we're getting pretty out of control here. Okay. Bot lane is doing beautifully. End up clearing some vision. Get the next wave in. We have flash now, which makes things a little bit easier. Beautiful Q. Beautiful E, sorry. Nailed by the Q. And that's because we don't have boots. If we had boots, it would make it much easier. And that's in... Okay, so much better in the sense that... I mean, we were a little bit late on the R. If we're in this situation, you'd have to insta turn around and R. Or even just flash, but trying to get nailed. And then the game is getting absolutely out of control. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to cover a few different concepts here. First things first, I think that there is an obvious... I'm gonna list out a few things here. Again, I think this was very similar to our last review. There's warding is an issue. At least what I'm seeing in this game, and it has been in most of our reviews. Warding is still an issue. So whatever you're doing to improve upon your warding is not working. At least the VODs you send me, it's inconsistent.
That's fair.
Very, very inconsistent. The other thing, we're missing a lot of matchup understanding, and that's okay. That's part of the process. We'll get to that. So specifically what we want to do with the waves, how the trading patterns work, these two together. And then I'll say the third thing is identifying our role in the comp. Okay. So, look, this is something that will just come with time. There's no real way apart from playing games to really learn this. But like I said, remember at the start I said Nunu is not good into Anivia.
Yeah, it was atrocious.
Right, and Rammus is, I would say, it's pretty good into you, especially when paired with a Anivia. Right, so it's a lot of gank setup, linear ganks. It's a pain in the ass. So based off of that assessment, we know that holding the wave on our side, slash in the middle is going to be quite important. We know that warding is going to be very important. And we probably know that it's unlikely we're going to be the win con, isn't it? It's unlikely that we're really going to be able to do anything too effectively. It's actually in our best interest for Nunu to actually play the side lanes.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Right? We're not the win con this game, man. So, what would that mean? Given that Nunu can't really gank Anivia that well, and given that you're under a lot of threat, and given that you scale quite well, what would be the appropriate response this game?
To sit in mid, farm up, and hit late game and just get 2 or 3 items and hopefully win.
Alright, I would say play a better way to frame it would be, get to your core item spikes. Lost Chapter, tier plus a Sorks. Or get to our first mythic like a Ludens. Or even, buy time and be a genuine secondary win con later into the game. And ideally walk that tightrope between exerting the perfect amount of pressure without dying, getting good quality vision, matching tempo, resets with the Anivia, trying to get to your E upgrade, doing your thing.
So at the end of the day, like I mean, one of the issues I had, and I don't think we got far enough in the game where it happened, but at the very least, I've had a lot of Anivia games where the Anivia literally just walked top or bot, got like 6 kills, and I sat there mid, and I'm just like, well, I'm not supposed to roam, but he did the exact same thing and got like 4 kills, and I'm wondering how, at the very least, I can prevent them from doing that, because I imagine to some extent that's on me. Whether or not I didn't give them a proper warning other than a missing ping, didn't put wards... Oh. Never mind. I may have just answered that.
Right, well, I mean, I'm assuming the missing pings and the warding and everything. But
I had myself at warding, actually.
Right. I would say that is a big thing, but also matching their resets, but also more important, that might tie into failing to understand the trading patterns. Because if you don't take good quality trades, then you're probably going to get chunked out of lane a lot more, and they're going to have a lot more control, and it's just going to get worse and worse. They're going to have more room to run.
Yeah, and I assume if you shove the wave in and you have like, and it's like